Hello there, and a very warm welcome here to my channel. My name is Marie. Today I am just going to have a quiet heart-to-heart with all of you, my friends here on YouTube. I want to share something really personal and meaningful, and I hope that you can find some resonance, maybe hope, inspiration. So, you probably don't know this, but last year, before I started this channel, I actually had another channel that I started and ran for a few months. It was a channel where I shared about my personal development journey, the things that I was fighting with and going through, and I thought it could be helpful and interesting for other people to follow and get inspiration from. But the problem was that it was very hard for me and very stressful for me to share and sit and talk in front of the camera. I wasn't used to it. And I felt very embarrassed and felt like very exposed every time I had shared a video. It also didn't do very well, which was kind of not very... It was kind of hurtful to my ego that I got a lot of negativity and just a lot of indifference, and people didn't really give me as much love as I receive here on this channel. And I noticed how slowly my confidence really took a hit, and it became strangely harder and harder for me to make those videos, until I finally decided to give up and try something completely different, which is this channel here, which I'm also really happy about. I love this community and the people in it, and I love doing ASMR. It's now been almost a year doing ASMR here on the channel. I started the 17th of June last year. It was my first little test video that I put out, and started the channel here the same day. And along the way, something really magical has happened, and I've really developed, like, beyond my wildest imagination. I just can't believe how much a person is able to transform in less than 1 year. And it comes to show that all my struggles in the beginning were not completely wasted. I was just really uptight, cramped up in angst and fear of exposing myself. And it shined through on the camera. And I was upset with myself. I was disappointed in myself. It was a hit to my ego. And I thought to myself, I can't sit here and teach people to be confident, for example, when I have no confidence. I realized really that I don't have confidence at all. Maybe a little bit. I was certainly willing to give it a shot and try to expose myself on camera, but it was just really hard for me, and I was not at all happy with the end result. I had trouble remembering my words and expressing myself freely and naturally. It sounded very scripted, and I was uptight in my body language, and yeah, I just felt like it wasn't working. And then some significant things happened in my life. My relationship fell apart. My father died. And I went through a lot of things, which kind of put everything else in perspective. It hit me like really hard that life is so ever-changing, and life is so fragile, and life is just very short. And what really matters is that you enjoy it, that you don't sit every day and stress and fight yourself constantly. Life is about enjoying it while you're still here. And if you're not enjoying fully what you're doing, if it really brings you down every day, then something's got to change, because you don't want to wake up one day and realize that you've just suffered your whole life when you could have just had a good time. And at that moment, I decided to, inside of me, something just turned inside of me. After all these things happened, I kind of started to not really give a, to things anymore, and just decided really that I'm just going to have some fun with this. I'm just going to relax. I'm just going to try things out and see. And if it's not fun, then I'm going to stop doing it. Because it has to be joyful. It has to be joyful and fun. And I decided to try and approach my life in a playful way, or my work, the things that I'm doing. I try to just put my ego aside and not worry about how I appear and how I come across on camera, or just put all of those worries aside. Just try to turn on that camera and just try and play with it. Try and see what you can do. You don't have to post it. You don't have to post the video. Just try something. And so I had been encouraged a lot to start an ASMR channel through my crocheting channel. I had a crocheting channel where I just don't speak to the camera. I just show my hands making stuff. And from that audience, I was encouraged to start an ASMR channel. And I really approached it in such just a playful way. I didn't really take it very seriously. I didn't take myself so seriously. I just kind of thought it was something really funny and kind of weird, and I thought, well, let's just try this and see. And so I just turned on my camera and I made a little 5-minute long video just trying to speak this way and to whisper this way and see how that would turn out. I'm not planning to post it at all, just playing around and trying things out like a child would just play and discover and take things on with curiosity rather than pressure, as I had been. That was what I was doing before, and it wasn't working for me. And so that it taught me so much. It taught me so much, even though I didn't realize it at the point. I was really on to something very, very important here. I had actually started to see that this confidence thing, it's not about being perfect. It's not about building your ego up to a certain point where you feel like you're on top and you can do this. It's more about just showing up and loving yourself for all your flaws and mistakes, and just being comfortable and relaxed, and put your ego aside. And when I say ego, it's not about selfishness. It's about your sense of self, the way you see yourself or would like to see yourself. Sometimes the ego is very fragile and can be torn down by the smallest comment, or and build up a little bit by positive comments. In the past, I was very much depending on those, and very attached to the response that I would get. But I had to let that go. Because surely whenever you start something completely new that you've never tried before, then you are not very good at it. And that goes with everything. You have to, or you don't have to, but you get better when you try, when you keep trying, and you keep just accepting that, well, I'm just here learning and I'm just trying things out, and I don't bother about being perfect. I don't bother about it being good. I'm not paying attention to all the mistakes and flaws so much. I'm just okay with learning, and I don't get caught up in when I say something wrong or something stupid. I don't scold myself. I don't bang my head. What do you say? I don't tear myself down if I say something stupid or wrong or just imperfect, or I stumble over some words. I've learned not to do that. And my work here has become like so much more enjoyable and relaxing. And last year, I remember that when I was working on myself and trying to build my confidence, I was listening to a lot of videos on YouTube to just desperately try to get over this these self-limiting beliefs that were holding me back so much. And at some point, I started to see that the more I listened to these, the more down I felt about myself. It actually made me feel worse and worse and worse. Because self-development, it kind of lies in the word itself, that if you have to work on yourself, then that means there's something wrong with you. And it means you're flawed and you're not good enough. It's kind of a self-rejection in a way. And I was really rejecting every part of myself. Whenever I saw myself on video, I was picking myself apart completely. I noticed how I slouch. I don't hold my back like a confident person. I don't appear confident at all, because I wasn't. This just didn't come natural to me. But I couldn't both focus on my body language and what I was supposed to say while the video was recording. So it was like, it was so cringing, or what does it say? It was so, I was feeling so tight in my body and so unrelaxed because I was rejecting myself and I was constantly criticizing myself in my desperate attempt to be perfect and be confident. Very ironic, isn't it? And I see so many of these videos out there. You have to have this kind of body language. You need to fake it till you make it, and all of those things. And I tried all that. It didn't work at all. I'm not a very good actor at all. So, and you just can't fake confidence. It's just not possible. Not to me, at least. So, today, I'm in a much different place. Not even a year later. I'm in a totally different place. And so I'm wondering what happened here? And what happened was exactly that. I let go of perfection. I let go of my ego. And I started to just think about the person on the other side of the screen, more than focusing on myself and how I would appear. And that shifted everything, because this isn't about me. I'm not making this content for me. It has helped me tremendously to make these videos, to start this ASMR channel. But the person that's important here, that's you. That's you on the other side. You are, if you're watching this, you're probably doing it because you benefit from my content in some sort of way. If not, I guess you'd just leave. So that was another thing that I was really struggling with, was I kept putting myself down, thinking that what do I have to offer? What do I have to, who am I to sit here and teach people? I mean, I know nothing. I'm just an imposter. I was dealing with this thing you call imposter syndrome. And, I was like, I didn't feel like I was good enough to be teaching anyone anything. And also, yeah, I was also not very well received. So I kept thinking that I haven't enough value to share. So, and that's also the struggle that many people have when they just start on YouTube. Because if no one's watching, if no one's positively commenting, and all you meet is really negativity and people not being appreciative of you, and there were some who were, but the negative comments always stuck with me more. And I really held on to them very, very tightly. It was not a choice of mine. I knew I shouldn't, but I couldn't help it. They just stuck with me more, and they kept on barking inside my head whenever I turned on the camera. And it was just too much pressure. Yeah. But what I realize now is that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If someone does not like me, or do not resonate with the things I say, I can't possibly make everyone happy. I can't possibly be everyone's cup of tea. I can only present what I am, who I am, and share the things that are important to me and share the things that I have to share. That's all I have. And I can only be me. I can't be another person. And that's okay. The most important thing is just that I am making a difference for some people. And those are the people that I am going to focus on serving. And just forget about all the others. They don't matter. They don't need to be here. And I'm not going to exhaust myself trying to please everyone. That is also a syndrome that I have been just dealing with all my life. The people pleaser syndrome, if that's a thing, you can call it that. And just here in my 40s, I'm like, life is too short. Life is too short to spend it trying desperately to please everyone. It's just, first of all, it's just impossible. You can't do it. You have to just live your life. Live your life while you're still here and make the most of it. And the minute I decided that inside myself and also felt it deeply, things just shifted completely. Completely shifted. Suddenly, I was able to sit in front of a camera, just like I am now, with no script, with no plan of what to say, not even an outline. Just sit down, completely relaxed, and just speak my mind. Like I'm sitting here just talking to a close friend. And the shift there is just so dramatic, so incredibly profound. And I am so unbelievably grateful that I took this opportunity, to start this ASMR channel here and started making content in a different way. I grew my confidence this way. I now know that I can do things I didn't think possible. I know now that anything is possible. It's just a matter of changing perspective and approaching things in a playful, curious, and exploratory way, just like a child. That's the thing, with adults. We forget to play. We forget to be playful and have fun. We take ourselves way too seriously all the time. We are so busy trying to keep up a certain image of ourselves, and we have such egos that we just try desperately to maintain, and it stops us from doing things. It stops us from taking chances and try new things because we're afraid to look stupid and look like we're on thin ice and do not know what we're doing. And we stop ourselves from having fun, first of all, and we stop ourselves from growing. They say that perfection is the enemy of progress. And I can tell you that is so true. I saw that quote once and I didn't think much of it, but now it has really settled in here, and it is so true. If we as adults can more put our egos aside and start being okay with looking like fools, embarrassing ourselves, it is actually such a liberating thing to be able to just be okay with embarrassment, with being cringe. And that's a word that the young people use nowadays, cringe. Yeah, I think young people too, like teenagers, they are also really, really scared of embarrassment. I know it's starting to happen with my son too. He doesn't want me to kiss him in public anymore. He's 12. We never know. We don't have each other forever. And being cringe, being embarrassed, it's just such an irrelevant feeling. I just want to kiss my little boy as much as possible until he grows up. But I also completely understand that he is in a stage of his life where what other people think is just so important. And he doesn't want other people to think he's a baby. But anyways, I'd rather be cringe and have people laugh at me than sitting one day on my deathbed and wondering what could have happened if I tried that thing. You know, I'm sure that when I'm there on my deathbed, I won't regret embarrassing myself. I don't think that's on the top of the list of regrets. I would probably rather regret the chances I didn't take and the things I didn't do that I wanted to do but was afraid to be embarrassed if I did. So why is it that it's so frightening for people to expose themselves, to be real and honest, and to just live freely and express themselves freely? Why are people so afraid of being seen? I remember there was a quote by Seinfeld once, who once said that it was something about people are more afraid of speaking in public than they are of death. And it's like, that's quite significant. And it's just mind-boggling. Why do people have this intense fear? It's so ridiculous. And what I've realized is that it's not actually that we're afraid of people's judgments or what people say. It is more about what that makes us feel about ourselves. That we are afraid that what people will say will shatter our ego, what we think we are and what we think about ourselves. It will be the death of who we have built ourselves up to be. That is what we are really, really scared of. But the important thing that I have learned to always remember is that these mistakes we make, these things we do that makes us look stupid, does not define us. Because I say something stupid once in a while. I do that sometimes also here on the channel. But that was just a stupid thought. It was just, doesn't make me stupid. It was a stupid thought I had, and I blurted it out, and it happens. It happens to everybody. It doesn't define us. When I was little, I was told I was shy. It was like a role I had. I had adopted from being told that I was shy. But I wasn't always shy. I felt shy in certain moments, but in other moments I didn't. But I let that define me very much, and it became very much a self-fulfilling prophecy that, well, I was told I was shy, so I was shy. But if I got to play with someone and we were having fun, and some I would forget it all, and then I would just be in the moment and enjoy myself, and I wouldn't be shy anymore. So the thing is to not let certain feelings define us, because we are many, many, many things. We are sometimes feel shy, sometimes we feel extroverted, and sometimes we feel introverted. Sometimes we feel fun and outgoing, and sometimes we absolutely do not. So all these things that we let, all these feelings that we let define who we are, there's just passing feelings and thoughts. You know, anything I've heard recently, that anything that is changeable is not true, is not an absolute truth. If you have like a feeling that you are not confident, for example, just know that it's not true, because it can change, it can be built, it can be developed. And it's just a feeling that you have sometimes, you know, in some situations you feel not confident, and in other situations you do feel confident. So it's not an absolute truth. And it's not something that you should let define you. And I have just found that that simple little mind shift is actually just so incredibly liberating. Because what that means is that none of the things that you are telling yourself about yourself is actually true. And you can wake up tomorrow and decide to be whatever you want to be. You are free to be and do what you want. And you don't have to fall into the expectations of other people. So that really goes back to this people-pleasing side of us all. I think we all have that in some level. It is just a natural instinct for people to have the need to belong to a group and fall into a certain tribe, fall into a certain role in that group, and find your place of belonging in a group. And it can be so difficult to step out of that and feel people's surprise or rejection, or what's this and who's this? And yeah, it is so easy for us to fall into these traps that limit us and makes us unfree in this life. And I'm still learning. It's an ongoing process to become just more and more free, because I don't want anything to limit me in this life. I don't want anything to hold me back. I am excited for this life. I'm excited to explore what I can do in this life. And if that means I have to fail, I have to try and try and try, and I have to look stupid, and I have to look silly, and I have to be pointed fingers at me, then it's worth it. It's so worth it. Because there's no limit to your growth if you are willing to try and fail and try and fail and try and fail. That is how you grow. So I hope this resonated with you somehow. I hope that you like this style of video. I really, as you can probably tell, this is one of my greatest passions, because it has been such a transformative and big part of my life in recent past. And I would love to hear from you too. What are your thoughts? And have you gone through similar awakenings in your life? And would you like to hear more? With that, I will end the video here, and I will wish you a wonderful and blessed rest of the day. And I will see you again very soon in my next video. Have a good